let's go to the US, where uncontrollable wildfires, as you know, are still raging through neighbourhoods in Los Angeles. As of this morning, 5 people are confirmed to have died, and more than 137,000 have been forced to leave their homes. One of the latest fires, and they've been given these fires names now, one of the latest is called Sunset, and it's very close to the home of our own Ross King. And Ross has spent the last few hours, like everyone else in the area, preparing to evacuate. He is able to join us now. Ross, we're all really worried about you and everybody there. What's the latest?
Yeah, it's a very, very strange situation, Lorraine. Ready, set, go is what they tell you to do. There were mandatory evacuations. So Runyon Canyon, which is where the Sunset Fire is, and that's a place that a lot of people will know. A lot of the movie stars all run up and down there. It's just kind of like over in the next canyon. The fire exploded out of nowhere. It was 50 acres. And so mandatory evacuation right beside it. Then we were all told to be put on an evacuation watch, which we're still under at the moment. And as we've mentioned so many times before, Lorraine, you know, just one little ember from the fire can just spark off a fire absolutely anywhere, and it can be miles and miles away. Incredible scenes out here. We've had the helicopters flying over it. Unbelievable when... Thankfully, the winds have dropped, so they can bring in the helicopters, they can release the water to put out a lot of the fire. And when you see the skill from these people, it really is phenomenal. It is apocalyptic. That's the only way to describe it, and people have been, and they're not over-exaggerating it at all. And it's such a weird feeling, Lorraine, that, you know, I feel so sorry for people who have lost their homes. I've got, you know, at least now half a dozen friends who've lost everything in their home. Thankfully, they haven't lost their lives, but they've lost everything that was in their home. And when I was getting everything together here at the house with Bridget, we would, you know, you're putting everything together, and then you start thinking, what should I take? What shouldn't I take? Is this the last time I'm going to see everything? And you're going around the house taking photographs, just making sure that you've got stuff that you can remember, and also insurance. You know, everything goes through your head. Yeah. And it's the weird thing as you're packing up the car and you're thinking, might come back and it might not be here. And for so many people, I mean, we're into thousands now of people that have just lost their homes, and you feel just so sorry for them. It is absolutely heartbreaking. As we said, it doesn't matter whether it's a multi-million-dollar home or a little home, they're all homes, and it's all that people have dreamt of, and it's heartbreaking. It's so difficult to watch, Lorraine.
Oh, it really is. I mean, as we know, you know, fire, any sort of disaster like this, no respect of wealth or fame or anything like that, and you know, everybody's loss is the same at the end of the day. And as you said, people have lost everything, and many people unable to get insurance actually. So they literally have nothing, absolutely nothing.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially down in Malibu, because you've got the sea eroding the homes down there. So a lot of the homes in Malibu have no insurance whatsoever. Now, people always say, well, they're all multimillionaires and they can afford it. But, you know, I think we talked about it yesterday, Lorraine, that drive along the Pacific Coast Highway, the coast road that people see in movies, and just over 100 of those beachfront homes as you drive through Malibu, gone completely. And that's it, the weird feeling out here, Lorraine. You know, the helicopters have stopped for the moment. Such an eerie kind of silence, and when you drive around, that suddenly everything is just really quiet, and obviously they've blocked off places. And I said 12 fires still active, and then you've even got a situation where in Studio City, which again is not too far from here, there was an actual fire, just a fire in a home, and of course that created more havoc too. And the poor firefighters, you just think, you know, they're just not getting a break at all, and they're trying to bring in retired firefighters to come in too. It just breaks your heart.
It really does. I mean, the firefighters doing their best. I mean, putting their own lives at risk for everyone else, you know, for everybody else. Already, though, Ross, I would imagine questions being asked about how prepared was everybody? What can we do next? Because the trouble is, where you live, as you well know, you've got to deal with earthquakes, and now you've got to deal with these horrific fires, absolutely horrific. And it means that, look, sadly, it's going to happen again, isn't it? And everybody needs to be better prepared.
Yeah, I mean, around about 80% of people here in LA don't have earthquake insurance. In fact, that might even be higher now. And of course, there's so talk of the big one whenever that would happen. As I mentioned, you know, the fire chief I spoke to was just saying, you know, the fire in the Palisades was the one that they absolutely dreaded. They thought it could happen. the Pacific Palisades, it's like 70% of that place is gone. I mean, you see the aerial shots of the Palisades, and it's just absolutely devastated. Obviously, the governors have come under fire out here. Trump tried to get political about it, and I just think at the moment there's no need to get political about anything. We all have to get together. The compassion that's been shown. Just everyone saying, look, if you get evacuated, you come and stay with me. You'll always have a place here. That has just been incredible. But, they are looking, the mayor here, Mayor Bass, she took something like 17.6 million from the fire budget and then put it onto a homeless budget, so you can see what she's trying to do. But also, firemen are going, some of these fire hydrants that we're using, there's no water. So there's going to be a lot of questions asked. Yeah. But, we're still right in the middle of it, Lorraine. We're not through it. And these winds, as we know, the gusts can just happen at any time. It takes a little ember and just fires it across. And, that the one we're saying in Runyon Canyon, in Sunset, because they were terrified there that would go down, because there's so many homes there, so many apartments, and then it goes right down to, again, places where if people have been visiting here, the Hollywood Walk of Fame, you've got the Dolby Theatre, all that closed, all completely evacuated. So it's devastating. Sadly, we've already lost 5 lives, so many people injured. And you can understand there was one gentleman who sadly died trying to protect his property. I know we're all told, and that's why, I'm being safe as well, although I'm doing the TV, and that's where it all gets a little bit of a in your head that we're still doing this, but also might just have to, the phone might go and I might have to run out the door. Yes. I mean, it's that crazy. But you can understand people just wanting to stay and protect their property. And again, what do you take? What don't you take? So my heart goes out to people that have lost so much.
No, exactly. And as we said, a great leveller, because it doesn't matter if you're an Oscar-winning star and you've got a £30 million property, or you're just somebody who's, working a normal job. It's all the same, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And obviously the concentration on the stars are going. Ben Affleck has been evacuated. Mandy Moore, Adam Brody has lost his house. Billy Crystal, John Goodman, Anthony Hopkins. And, Paris Hilton, she went on to Instagram talking about it and how it was a home that she'd built so many precious memories in. And then James Wood, he shared his experience, a very emotional one as well.
She came out, I'm sorry, just, one day you're swimming in the pool and the next day it's all gone. But she came out with her little Yeti piggy bank for us to rebuild our house.
Oh, it's horrific. It really is. Ross, you take care of yourself. Obviously, if the call happens, you get yourself out of there. I hope, for goodness sake, that they can get this under control soon. Obviously, anything else happens, we'll get back to you, but just be safe. Well, that's a wrap for this video. We hope you enjoyed it. We have all the best moments from the show right here on the channel. And if you like this video, then we think you'll love this one. See you next time.